Chapter 43. Pilgrim had returned to Merrillmar and was standing in the local graveyard, staring out over the sea. The frigid wind whipped the wire grass around her ankles. Merrillmar House seemed to have become a place of cathartic renewal for her. Behind her, leaning at every angle, were the gravestones of the dear departed of Merrillmar Village. The salt-blasted tombstones with the names of the dead were virtually obliterated, but some could still be made out. Many bore the sad epitaph, "Lost at Sea." At the back, one white headstone stood out. The inscription read, "Henry Baxter. O brave heart that needled darkness, no more possessed by time, but that keen light showers through the veil of stars to cradle this valiant knight. Beloved of Neath Pilgrim." Pilgrim walked over to Baxter's grave and rearranged the flowers, as she had done for countless weeks. Each time she left Merrillmar House with Boo at her side, Mrs. Flint would watch her from the window, knowing there was nothing to be done. Mr. Flint had entered the room and now stood behind her, resting his hand on her shoulder. He stated, "She needs time." "At least she's starting to eat," Mrs. Flint remarked, trying to prevent her chin from trembling. "She's still skin and bone." "Hansford called again this morning," Mr. Flint said wearily. "Well, he's persistent, I'll give him that," she said. "She still won't talk to him?" he asked. "No. I've told him myself. She said for him to move on. Nothing more to say. Frankly, he's doing my head in," she snapped. "I've got a feeling he might pay us a visit," Mr. Flint said. "I'll set the dog on him if he does. Why don't he just leave her alone?" she asked testily. "I suppose he feels responsible in some way." "She don't need anyone right now. She's got us and Boo." "Well, as soon as she's ready, she'll want to get back to work," Mr. Flint said. Mrs. Flint turned on her husband. Whipping the tea towel from her shoulder, she swatted him with it. "What?" he demanded. "Give the girl a chance. Henry's barely cold in his grave. Poor mite. She's grieving, isn't she? I suppose you'll be back up to London in a jiffy before the ground had settled over me." "Don't talk nonsense, woman. I'm going to go before you." He laughed at the look of shock on her face. "Flint by name, Flint by nature. That's what they say, don't they? I shan't be dancing any jigs after you're cold," she said seriously. He grabbed her round the waist, laughing as she ineffectually tried to struggle away from the kiss he was about to plant firmly on her lips. "No, no, get that bushy beard away from me. You'll break me out in a rash. No!" She succumbed to his kiss. Finally breaking free, she trundled back to the kitchen. He took a last look outside as he watched Pilgrim and Boo start back towards the house.